You're watching the Sporting Time Show with host Doug Thompson. Sponsored by Jewelry Barn and Pawn Shop. For the athletes, for the game.
Welcome to the Sporting Time Show. Happy Saturday to everybody. I'm Doug Thompson, and alongside our co-host,
I'm Joe Brunk.
Joe, it is good to see you. It has been a busy week.
Yeah.
Some of the postseason has begun. Football, we still have a few weeks of regular season left.
We got a little bit there.
But our top five is packed.
Yeah.
With some really exciting individual and team performances.
Yeah, shaking it up a little bit, getting some new names in the top five.
Yeah, and how about South Warren Volleyball that started off at number 5?
Yeah.
They crack our top 5, Joe. They are 20-7, and they have played teams like Paul Lawrence Dunbar, who is a really good team. They're 20-7 as well. They have played teams like Mayo. They lost to Mayo, who is out of that tough 7th region that has that semi-professional Assumption in that region as well. I'm just kidding. They also they've just played really, really tough teams, right? Outside of our region that always are in the top tier of volleyball in the state. They have played Greenwood twice. They have lost to Greenwood twice. They have won a game against the Gators. But they are very, very good, very competitive. And you and I spoke last week about postseason, about anything goes. It especially happens in volleyball. It's an exciting time. We'll see what happens, but congratulations to South Warren on a great season so far.
Yeah, South Warren, certainly a team that you're not going to count out once it gets to postseason play.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you've got number 4.
I certainly do, and we're going back to the pitch. I seem to be getting a lot of the soccer ones. I'm going all over soccer this year. Warren East ladies soccer, playing some really good football right now. They've won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
Really starting to find some momentum, and they've got an excellent score at the top of the pop with Lucy Patterson, 30 goals on the season. Really having a good time there, and this is a team where, you know, when we talk about girls soccer in this area, we don't talk about Warren East. That's not a name that gets thrown out a lot. But this crew this year starting to make some noise, and maybe this is a team that we talk about along with the Greenwoods and the other programs. Maybe Warren East is here to stay. They're certainly making a case for it right now.
Well, we got to get Lucy on the show. I think it'd be because she's a great athlete, great
all around
player.
Yeah.
Now soccer. So we need to get her on the show.
Yeah.
How about number 3? Talking about great athletes, great individual performances. A young lady that we've talked about before, Lexi Paskowitz out of Bowling Green High School. She is just a junior. She had won 3 out of 4 races in cross country. Well, she goes up to Louisville recently, and over 300 runners, Joe, the top runners in the state. She cracks the top 25 and has a personal best. She is really, getting her stride in cross country. We're going to be talking about her a lot. We still have the state cross country meet coming up. But congratulations to Lexi making the top 25. I believe she ended up at 22nd. In a huge cross-country race in Louisville. Congratulations.
Absolutely. And as, again, kind of the end of the year comes and the cooler weather comes in, a lot of people were like,
love it.
Nope, don't want to run in that. It's actually the best time to be a cross-country runner. It's the best.
You got to have it.
Love it.
You can't do it in 100-degree temperature and feel good about it.
That's
She's
hard.
doing it, though.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. How about we look at number 2? We talked a little bit about South Warren Volleyball. I want to talk a little Greenwood Volleyball. This is a team that has been dominant throughout the season, 30-2 on the year. They've won 15 in a row and are undefeated in the state of Kentucky. Only 2 losses are against teams in Illinois.
Where?
So Illinois, that's not in Kentucky.
Yeah,
they're not going to be playing in the postseason.
Somewhere else.
It's away from here. So this is a team that every year when we talk about volleyball, we talk about it's the private schools. They dominate the sport in the state of Kentucky. This is a program that in the past has been able to make some noise. This squad, again, looks poised to do it.
Yeah, we call them the Fighting Whittinghills. In fact, we are going to have an expert on the show tonight that knows all about Greenwood Lady Gator Volleyball. Can't wait to have him on. How about number 1? You talk about rivalries, Joe. One of the biggest rivalries in this region in football is the Bowling Green South Warren. They got after it. And we're talking about it because it is such a big rivalry. Last year, South Warren took it. They got the bragging rights. This year, Bowling Green got it.
Yeah, Bowling Green gets the regular season matchup. Look for them to meet up again in the postseason, especially with the way that the playoffs are drawn off now, where you play the district first.
Yep.
So it's almost an assured thing that Bowling Green and South are going to meet again. It'll be very interesting how that one differs from the regular season, because I think it will. This one, highly defensively based. It was tough to get points on that board. Bowling Green forced 4 turnovers, could not capitalize on a lot of those, but in the second half, got the ground game going a little bit, which is not something that we see usually against South Warren, but that's what happened. They got the win.
Isn't it interesting that they're going to play the district, they're going to play again, and it just raises the stakes so much, and I can't wait, to see that game when it comes. But anyway, congratulations to our top 5, a great top 5 this week. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Joe, more of the Sporting Times right here on WNKY NBC 40.
As far as engagement rings, or any ring for that matter, or any piece of jewelry, there's nothing that we probably cannot do.
Every engagement ring imaginable is available here. We not only have in-stock pieces, but we also make custom-made jewelry. Anything that they are seeing in a mall-type setting, we can absolutely reproduce it if we don't already have it in stock. I will say we're very personable here.
We try to make it very special for everybody.
Planes and trains, cars and guitars, caves and waves, rails and trails, thrills and chills, charm and farms. We could keep going for days, and that's just what it would take to see and do everything in the Bowling Green area. As the home of the Corvette, we sure love our fast cars, but the city offers so much more that we think you'll be surprised by how much is happening here. The icing on the Duncan Hines cake is that we're geared for couples, families, and groups with this many options. For more information, go to visitbgky.com.
You're watching the Sporting Time Show.
Good evening and welcome to the Sporting Time Show. Doug Thompson with one of my favorite people in the world, Amy Cardwell. She is the sports director of sales for the Bowling Green Convention and Visitors Bureau. Boy, I got that out. It's so hard for me to do that. It is great to see you. Welcome to our new show.
I know, this is so exciting.
Week 5, so we made it through a month. We're in week 5. But Amy, I have known you for about 14 and a half years. You started at the Conventions and Visitors Bureau 14 years ago, right?
14 years ago, September 1st.
And wow, have things changed, right?
Very much so.
I mean, this place, Bowling Green, Warren County, it's an amazing place. So much activity, and when you look at it from a sports perspective, you're a main reason that sports has gotten as crazy as it has around here.
It has been a tremendous ride for the last 14 years. You talk about change. My predecessor didn't have a computer.
Well, I knew your predecessor.
Yes, he was a wonderful man and did Coach is a great guy, and he was wonderful in that position and got things started for us, and we just tried to take his lead and keep the ball rolling.
Well, it's been amazing. You look at Buchanan Park, and you look at the different things that the county has built.
Oh, the facilities are amazing.
Right? I mean, it's crazy. And the thing is, here, you don't have to worry about filling those facilities with events. Right?
No, actually, more times than not, finding available times to put events in is more my problem.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What is coming up in the near future, or what is coming up that's kind of new and exciting for us in the sports arena?
Well, in the direct future, we have the Mid-South Fall events are happening. Mid-South Conference will have cross country and soccer and volleyball and
wrestling
and bowling and all kinds of stuff. We also I didn't do it for once. Kick or treat, big soccer tournament that we've hosted for years. It's at Soki Soccer.
Really?
Yes.
How many teams participated?
Well, it varies year to year, but it averages over 100.
Wow.
It is the same time as the KMEA State Marching Band Championships at Western this year. So hotel rooms will be at a premium the last weekend of October. But we have all kinds, of course, basketball is getting ready to start. Yep. And in this area, that's tremendous and huge. But we've kicked off with our partnership with the Mid-South. We've created new sports that weren't previously in Warren County. So wrestling being one of those. You know, you and I have had lots of fun with the wrestling.
That's crazy. Wrestling is crazy.
It is crazy,
Yeah.
but learning it and the mats and all that, the tappers and all that, we've had a lot of fun with that. But it has given us the opportunity, and this is one of the things I love the most about my job, is when we bring a sport in that hasn't been played here previously or people don't know about it, we get the opportunity to offer it to our own leagues and our own kids.
Right.
So since we have hosted Mid-South Wrestling, and now we do women's as well, they have been able to start a league at Warren County. So there are several hundred youth participating in wrestling in Warren County Parks and Recreation. Right? So our football teams, our high school football teams are benefiting from it. So everybody's really excited about that. But we are going to host a USA wrestling event. So this will be our first non-Mid-South Conference wrestling event.
So a USA
wrestling event. It will be in June of 2020. So we're super excited about that. And talking about the new
Is it
facilities.
older kids? Is it younger?
It'll be young to old. It'll be
Really?
it'll be like 4 to 18.
Wow.
So we're really excited about that. And you know, you're talking about you mentioned them, the new facilities and how many great facilities we have here.
Right.
And I feel like we're always looking to build something new.
We're growing.
We are growing, but the new gyms at Buchanan and Ephraim have been, you know, were essential to our growth. In fact, I wish we had 2 or 4 more. But it's allowed us to be able to offer and host tournaments like that.
No, I don't think most people know that, you know, these things just don't show up. It's just not. So you travel all over the country to these events that you basically, I don't want to use the word pitch, but you sell Bowling Green.
I sell Bowling Green.
You have all these organizations and they're looking for where's the optimal place to go, and you say Bowling Green.
Yes.
Warren County. How much fun is that? Or logistically, what is it like to make a bid or represent, you know, this great city and county to people around the country?
It's truly an honor to get to sell my own community. You know, I grew up here. I love Bowling Green and Warren County, and to see it grow and to get to share my passion for my community with others is always an honor to me. And I tell you, when I won, there was one particular national I won in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina one time, and I'd gone up against 13 other cities across the United States, and it's a voting process with, you know, over 500 voters, and the bottom 2 vote getters drop off, and then you do it again, and you go down until it's down to 2, you know, you pick the winner.
It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Well, it's very nerve-wracking, and the fact that I had watched this happen before, when, you know, if those cities that are dropping out, if the people that had voted with them goes with someone else, that the winner, you know, because we were winning from the get-go. But I kept waiting, you know, for them to, like, mount a attack against us, but they didn't. I could have run home from Myrtle Beach and never touched the ground.
Really?
I was so excited.
Or stayed in Myrtle Beach and enjoyed the water.
I just wanted to go home and just shout it from the rooftops and tell everybody. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get home at that point. But it's a rush. It really is an adrenaline rush to get. It's like competing.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
you know, when I used to get to compete all the time, and so now I just do it in a different way.
So much fun.
You know, Bowling Green makes it easy. They, you know, our facilities are tremendous.
The
hotels are amazing, and we're putting up new hotels all the time.
Do we have enough restaurants? Probably. I mean,
and you know, the crime rate, the way our community works together.
Yeah, right.
When you can pick up the phone and people call and they want this business here, they want travelers to come in and to see our community, because the one thing Bowling Green does is we appreciate it. And even, you know, our politicians and our government and everybody appreciates what these people are bringing in.
Right.
And I think we first saw that so much with General Motors coming to Bowling Green. And, you know, all the things that just bringing the manufacturing of the Corvette to Bowling Green did to change our community.
It's huge.
And I think we've just taken that and keep moving with it.
Geographically.
And geographically,
we're 45 minutes from Nashville, Tennessee, so people...
We're within a day's drive of 80% of the United States.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's so easy to get here. We have so many phenomenal offerings, and we attract all types of different visitors, you know, and so it's quite an honor to get to do, actually.
Well, the CVB is a unbelievable organization with great people. I mean, you work with a great organization. Thank you very much for going out there and doing what you do. Will you come back on the show?
Definitely. I love being here.
That was fantastic.
This is really awesome.
Maybe we'll get you back on the softball field, and we'll see that skill set that you had.
Yeah, my mother may shoot you. You better hope she doesn't watch this. She threatened to burn my cleats and shoot me if I did that again.
Well, the fact you still have your cleats means that you still want to play.
I do. I still love the smell of the dirt.
But hey, thank you, Amy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
All right, we're gonna have you back on. We're gonna take a short break. When we come back, more of the Sporting Time Show on WNKY NBC 40.
Any ring for that matter, or any piece of jewelry, there's nothing that we probably cannot do.
Every engagement ring imaginable is available here. We not only have in-stock pieces, but we also make custom-made jewelry. Anything that they are seeing in a mall-type setting, we can absolutely reproduce it if we don't already have it in stock. I will say we're very personable here.
We try to make it very special for everybody.
Hey, I'm Dave Stumbo, owner at Toyota Bowling Green. If you're looking for a new or used vehicle, what would a lifetime warranty be worth? Ask your dealer for a free warranty for life. When they say no, come to Toyota Bowling Green, where nearly 100% of every car and truck has a free lifetime powertrain warranty. Why? Because we only have the best. Toyota Bowling Green, where we make you number one.
You're watching.
Welcome back to the Sporting Time Show. Doug Thompson, along with our special guest, Alan Whittinghill. He is the head volleyball coach for the Greenwood Lady Gators. Alan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It is good seeing you. You guys, first of all, your wife and you, Holly, you guys are the most successful public school volleyball program in the state of Kentucky. I went through and looked at what you have done. You have way over 400 wins. You started, I believe, in 2000. You started the program at Greenwood?
We did, yeah.
And you went to 2011, and you took a couple years off. Is that right? 2011, 12?
12 maybe.
12?
13 years. And this is the 20th year of volleyball.
Wow.
For Bowling Green area. So, your new teacher, the principal comes to you and says, hey, we want you to start volleyball. And Holly was a basketball player, played at Warren East under Coach Embry and had a real successful career. And so she said, I'll do it if my husband can help me because he plays volleyball and knows volleyball. So that's kind of how that got going. So, and then we did it for 13 years, took off 5. And this is my second year back. And she's still, active a little bit, but not really as the coach of the program. She's mentor to the girls. And, our girls, we got a middle school kid and a 5th grader. So she's got a lot of momming to do there, and they're playing volleyball, so it's a busy time.
Yeah, see, but what amazes me, though, is I look at your record, and I look at, you weren't just okay. You guys just didn't get by. You had 36-4 records. You had 36-8, 32-9, 37-4, 36-10. It goes on and on. I think you had 9 region championships your first stint as you went. 2011, you went to the state championship game, which I think was the only time a public school ever made it that far.
First time ever at that point.
Ever. Yeah. And you lost to the professional team in Assumption.
I think they were number 1 in the nation at the time.
So it's amazing to me. And you took the time off, and then you come back in 2018, you go 36-6, you win the region again. This year, you're 30-2. How do you? And you're the volleyball guy. You're the volleyball player. So, take me through how you put your team together, or how you motivate them, or how you teach them. Because I would imagine it's different today than it was in 2000.
Yeah, they're a lot better right now, and so they get a lot more instruction. So from other areas. Before it was just us giving instruction, so we know exactly what they're hearing and what we're battling. And now, I've never been concerned about where they're getting instruction. It's like if you know how to do it, that's fine with us. And I've got good assistants. Both of them I'd coached before, so they're from a couple different eras. So an earlier era kid that I coached, Tasha Monterez, is our assistant, and then Courtney Smith, Courtney Cassidy now, who's one of the best volleyball players ever around this area. And so they played in different eras from each other, so they kind of got different perspectives on me as players. But they're really good with the girls and really understand the development of players. And I couldn't even imagine doing it without somebody like them, because they're the bridge that brings us all together. I think, as me as a coach and them as coaches and player, just being able to interact with the girls maybe better than I did, but they're just a lot more knowledgeable. I mean, our kids are just way better. I mean, they're just, we always put together a good 6 or 7, but now we got 32 kids in the program, and all of them are pretty good volleyball players.
It's amazing.
It's amazing how it's changed.
So, but you own your own company. Your wife is a teacher. Back when you first started, you didn't have the kids, right?
Not at first, yeah.
Right. So you have your own children. Mm-hmm. You're still coaching. You still own your own business. Your wife is still teaching. How do you balance all of that and still be able to achieve as much as you and Holly were able to achieve throughout those years?
I don't know. It's not easy. I mean, owning my own company makes my schedule more flexible. We don't practice as early as we did the first stint. The first stint, I had to be off earlier every day to be right after school. And I told them when I come back, I'm like, I can't do that anymore. It's too expensive. Yeah. So, we start at 4 o'clock. So that's a little bit of a burden. And I hope, we try to get the kids getting their homework done in between out of school and 4 o'clock. So we kind of work with them on the schedule. But, that's, and, some assistant coaches are the same way. Courtney teaches school. They're not out till 3:30. Tasha's, I think her job ends at 3:30. So they kind of got to accept it to get us kind of thing. And so it's worked out pretty good. I know they would probably rather practice right after school. So, that helps as far as the balance of it goes. But my kids are now playing volleyball. They both played middle school ball this year. I had a 5th grader and an 8th grader. And my 8th grader played for my freshman program too. So I see her more now. It's not like I'm missing the time before. That's why we got out of it before, because we were just missing the time with the kids.
And that's what I was going to ask you. That 5 years that you had must have been nice to kind of just reload and just more family time, because that's a real important time for the young kids.
Yeah, that was basically the crux of the matter. But in the first run, it was like, and now I coach softball and basketball and sports that I don't know as much about as volleyball. And it's, I was going, well, I know coaching, but I don't know the sport as well. But so we adapted, and Holly coached some sports when I helped too, or sit at the sidelines while she did her thing. And so, but yeah, now that they're growing up and they're gotten into volleyball and playing club and playing school ball, it's a little bit easier. I miss some of my youngest one's games because they play early when we're still practicing, and so we try to arrange to see. I've seen half a dozen of them anyway.
Isn't it interesting though to coach a player like Courtney, and then it's kind of like us covering a student athlete that goes off to college and then comes back as a professional as a coach. You coached her, she goes on to college, does her thing, and then it's almost like a full circle. I mean, how gratifying is it for you to not only be able to, have some of your older players come back and be assistant coaches, but to kind of look back and say, you know what, this has really been a fun run, and we have built a tradition.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good examples of that. I mean, Tasha was there when we didn't know what our tradition was going to be. We were just trying to do our best, and and she knows the level's changed a lot, and her level of coaching has risen a lot. And Courtney was just always really good. And so it's nice to have her in the gym sometimes, because the kids, they don't have to ask but some of them, how good was Courtney compared to these kids today? Well, she gets in the gym sometimes and they realize how good she really is.
Was good.
Oh, and she's still good. Yeah. And she hits it really hard, and I think they're a little bit scared of her. And we got some kids that hit it hard, but just understanding how good Courtney really was over those, she played for us from 7th grade to 12th grade, and started for 5 years for us. So yeah, it's nice here in the gym, because she's really challenging the kids. like she wants to.
So having your own girls, did that give you a different perspective when you came back the second time to coach, or was it different? Or, I mean, did it help you, or?
Certainly, it's been. I don't know if it helped. It's a little different, you look at things differently just being an older person. But,
yeah.
We're, I don't know, early 20s when we first got into this whole mess. And now I'm in the mid 40s. You just look at life totally different, too. And these, I think about that all the time. These seniors aren't that far from my daughter. They're 5 years apart.
Yeah.
So your perspective changes a little bit on what these kids go through. And, it's nice to see her group come up. And even the kids that don't play volleyball, it's just, you get a different perspective on just being a parent than just being a guy that's 10 years older, and we're just kind of not interested in the same things.
True. So is it safe to say that you will be around for a while? I mean, your daughters are going to be coming up. I mean, can I make that assumption without, God, I don't like to use that word assumption. I'm sorry. Cut.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to commit, I think I'd like to be, but other times it's like, if it ever interferes with our relationship too much or we stop getting along, maybe that would change the dynamic. Or if, life gets in the way. But I would love to be part of their lives and, in the coaching part. And that's one thing, Courtney and Tasha, Samantha played for the freshman team. Well, Tasha was her coach. So we didn't have a lot of, I was more of a dad, off the court and not really talking to coach. I did coach her in clubs. So there's a dynamic there you got to work through as a parent. You don't want a relationship that's strained because of a sport.
Right.
So we're trying to look at it in the best perspective possible. That we hope we can do both. But if it ever becomes impossible,
game, you're done. You're at the end of the game or whatever, and you're going home. Then volleyball stays there, and whatever happens is father-daughter time, right?
You try to.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get in the car and she doesn't want to, she wants to talk about what happened at practice. And sometimes I do, but most of the time it works out pretty good. But every once in a while you realize, we need to keep this
That's right.
Keep it in the gym is what I would say.
Coach told me a long time ago, the best way to handle the ride home is ice cream. That just, whatever it might be, that is a fix-all for everything. Not sure if that's true or not, because I've never coached my kids, but it sounds good.
Problem is, I'd have to get one too, and that'd probably be bad for me. I don't think I have the willpower to say no to it.
Oh my gosh! Well, Coach, congratulations on just an amazing career, you and your wife, and what you have built at Greenwood. And I certainly appreciate you coming in here today, and look forward to having you back on the show. Now there is we do the Game On show after this that we do online. And it's this or that questions. It's kind of high pressure. Would you be up for that?
Sure.
All right.
I like pressure.
Coach Hood did it, and he knocked it out of the park, but he was sweating by the end of it. But thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good luck in postseason.
Appreciate it. Thank you for all your support in volleyball. We appreciate your coverage.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more of the Sporting Times.
And remember, like us on Facebook and follow ST on Twitter.
That's going to wrap it up for this week's show.
Yeah, man.
I know you got a busy week coming up, so we both do. We'll see what happens.
Let's get to it, man.
All right, have a great week and be safe. We'll see you next weekend.
You're watching the Sporting Times Show, produced by Brand Fathom.